Have you ever felt like a single comment, a minor inconvenience, or someone's bad attitude ruined your whole day? In a world full of noise, pressure, and constant demands on your time and energy, staying calm might seem impossible. But what if I told you that you already hold the key to inner peace? The Stoics believe that while we can't control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond. And that's more relevant today than ever before. Imagine navigating your life without being emotionally hijacked. No more being triggered by negativity. No more overthinking that one rude email or social media comment. Imagine owning your energy. In this video, you'll discover 12 powerful Stoic principles that will help you not only stay calm in the face of chaos, but become a source of calm for others. If you're ready to stop being controlled by the world around you and start leading with clarity and strength, then this video is for you. And hey, if you find this valuable, give it a like and consider subscribing, because every week we dive deep into timeless wisdom for modern minds. Let's begin your journey to emotional freedom right now. Number 1. Your reaction is always your responsibility. In a world where outrage is one click away and offense is a trending emotion, here's a radical truth that most people overlook. Your reaction is your responsibility. Always. You don't control what others do. People will cut you off in traffic. They'll criticize your work unfairly. They might ghost your messages, say something rude, or show up with the energy of a storm. But none of these things, none have the power to touch your inner peace unless you let them. This is the Stoicism, is stimulus insight between stimulus and response. There is a space. In that space is our power to choose. Modern life feels like it's designed to provoke us. Notifications, deadlines, trolls online, people who chew loudly on public transport. But the more you practice pausing before reacting, the more powerful you become. When someone says something offensive, don't give them your peace on a silver platter. Ask yourself, is this truly about me? Or is it about their own pain, stress, or immaturity? You don't have to absorb every insult thrown at you. You can let it pass through you like wind through an open window. Here's a practical Stoic exercise. 1. Pause when you feel triggered. Take one breath, then one more. 2. Label the emotion. I feel disrespected. I feel overlooked. Naming it creates space. 3. Choose your response. Don't ask, what do I feel like doing? Ask, what would my highest self do right now? You might be thinking, but they were wrong. Maybe. But do you want to be right or do you want to be free? Reacting impulsively might give you a momentary win, but choosing calm gives you long-term power. That's real strength, not in controlling others, but in mastering yourself. In a modern world that rewards outrage, Stoic calm is rebellion. And the best part? It's a rebellion you lead from within, silently, peacefully, and powerfully. So next time someone tries to ruin your day, remember this: they can't. Not without your permission. The storm may be outside, but you decide if it enters. And that's not just emotional control, that's emotional freedom. Number 2. People don't owe you their understanding. Let's face it. One of the fastest ways to become angry, disappointed, or frustrated in life is this: expecting people to behave the way you would. You show up with kindness, but they're cold. You go out of your way to help, but they disappear when you need them. You communicate clearly, and they misunderstand you anyway. And so you think, how could they? I would never treat them that way. But here's the uncomfortable Stoic truth. People live according to their nature, not your expectations. You can't force someone to understand you, to value what you value, or to see the world through your lens. Each person operates with their own set of beliefs, past wounds, blind spots, and priorities. Expecting them to respond like you is like yelling at the wind for blowing the wrong way. You wouldn't do that. So why do it with people? Instead of clinging to the pain of unmet expectations, practice the Stoic art of radical acceptance. You don't have to approve of someone's behavior, but you can accept the reality of who they are, as they are. without needing it to be different. This isn't passive, it's powerful. Here's what it gives you. Freedom from resentment. You stop holding grudges over imaginary standards others never agreed to. Emotional independence. Your peace no longer depends on whether someone gets you. Clarity. You see people not through your hopes, but through their consistent patterns. Here's a practical modern exercise. 1. When someone upsets you, pause and ask, what was I expecting from them? 2. Then ask, was that expectation ever clearly agreed upon or just assumed? 3. Finally, shift. If I accept this person exactly as they are, what choices do I have now? You'll find that peace doesn't come from people meeting your expectations. It comes from releasing them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, today I will meet people who are meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly, not to make you cynical, but to remind you that your peace must not depend on anyone else's behavior. So when someone disappoints you, don't take it personally. Take it wisely. That's not a betrayal. That's reality reminding you. The only standards you can control are your own. And when you stop expecting others to be you, you start living free. Number 3, let go of the need to be right. We live in an age where everyone wants to be heard, but few are truly listening. Social media debates, comment wars, endless arguments at work or at home, many of them don't come from a love for truth. They come from one simple, destructive desire, the need to be right. You felt it, haven't you? That rising fire in your chest when someone disagrees with you, that urge to defend, explain, correct, even when it costs your peace. But here's what the Stoics understood, and what the modern world desperately needs to relearn. Being right is not as valuable as being wise. Seneca once wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more who is poor." In the same way, it's not the one who's wrong that suffers, it's the one who needs to be right at all costs. Think about it. What if you could walk away from a heated conversation without proving anything? What if you could choose clarity over conflict? Would you lose, or would you actually win? When your ego demands victory, your peace becomes the price. Here's a mindset shift that will set you free. I don't need to win every argument to live a meaningful life. Sometimes silence is strength. Sometimes understanding matters more than agreement. Sometimes being kind is better than being clever. Here's a modern Stoic practice. 1. When disagreement arises, pause, take a breath, ask, what's more important right now, peace or proving? 2. Practice humility. Say, you may be right, even if you don't fully agree. You lose nothing, but gain peace. 3. If the issue doesn't align with your core values or impact long-term outcomes, let it go. Not every opinion needs your rebuttal. Not every challenge is worth your energy. And most arguments are less about truth and more about ego. In a noisy world where everyone's shouting to be heard, the Stoic stands out by choosing calm over chaos. And ironically, by not needing to be right, you often earn more respect. You become someone others trust, not because you always win debates, but because you radiate wisdom. So the next time you feel that inner heat, stop. Ask yourself, do I want to be right, or do I want to be free? The wise already know the answer. Number 4. Don't let their words define your worth. You share an idea, a dream, a part of yourself, only to be met with a dismissive laugh, a sarcastic comment, or silence. Suddenly, your confidence wavers. You wonder, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe they're right. But here's a timeless truth that the Stoics knew long before Instagram comments and office gossip existed. Your worth is not up for debate. Let that sink in. Other people's words can sting, but only if you give them permission to enter. What they say reveals far more about them than it ever does about you. Their praise doesn't add to your value. Their insults don't take it away. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own." That's the trap. We hand over our self-esteem like it's something to be voted on. But what if you didn't? What if the next time someone questioned your path, you smiled, not with arrogance, but with quiet confidence, and kept walking? Here's the modern application of Stoic wisdom. 1. When someone criticizes you, pause. Ask, do they truly know me? Are they living a life I admire? 2. Filter feedback. Is it useful, constructive, based in truth? Keep it. If not, drop it. 3. Reaffirm your value by reminding yourself of what you stand for, not what others assume. In a world obsessed with validation, likes, comments, claps, and compliments, emotional freedom begins the moment you no longer seek approval to be yourself. This doesn't mean you become arrogant or closed off. It means you become anchored so that no wave of criticism can shake you and no tide of praise can sweep you off course. Here's a mental reframe. That comment is about their lens, not my reality. Their rejection is redirection. I know who I am, and that's enough. The truth is, people will always have opinions, but those opinions only have power when you internalize them. So build your self-worth like a fortress, quiet, unshakable, grounded in values, not validation. Because when you stop needing others to define your worth, something incredible happens. You start living according to your truth, not their projections. And that is Stoic strength. Number 5. Set boundaries to protect your inner peace. Let's be honest, modern life stretches us thin. Work demands overflow into personal time. Friends and family text with expectations. Notifications buzz endlessly. And slowly, silently, your peace gets swallowed. But here's what the Stoics knew well. If you don't protect your time and energy, someone else will waste it. Boundaries are not selfish, they're sacred. They are not walls to push people away, but gates that decide what and who you allow in. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Setting boundaries is how you claim that power. It's how you say, my peace matters, my time is limited, my energy is valuable. In today's world, that's not just wisdom, it's survival. Here's the truth. People aren't mind readers. If you don't clearly express your limits, don't be surprised when others cross them. Resentment builds not because people take too much, but because we allow it without speaking up. So, how do you apply this Stoic wisdom? 1. Be honest with yourself first. What drains you? What fills you? Awareness is the beginning of boundaries. 2. Communicate clearly and calmly. You don't need long justifications. I can't commit to that right now is enough. 3. Stick to your boundaries. The world tests limits. Respect yourself enough not to move the line just to avoid discomfort. Here's a modern reframe. When you say no to others, you're saying yes to your mental health, your priorities, your purpose. Think of your time and attention as currency. If you gave every stranger full access to your bank account, people would call you reckless. But we do this with our energy all the time, until we burn out and wonder why. Stoicism teaches us that true strength comes not from pleasing everyone, but from staying loyal to what truly matters. You can be kind and still say no. You can care and still set limits. You can be helpful and still protect your peace. And when you do, something powerful happens. You stop living in reaction mode. You start living with intention. You stop drowning in obligations. You rise with clarity. So today, ask yourself, where do I need firmer boundaries? Where am I saying yes out of guilt, not choice? Because your peace is not just something you stumble upon, it's something you defend. And the Stoic path to peace begins with this. Honor yourself enough to say no. Number 6. Silence is your greatest power. In a world that constantly screams for attention, silence has become a forgotten art and a hidden weapon. We're taught to react, to clap back, to explain ourselves, to say something. But the Stoics knew better. Silence is not weakness, it's wisdom in disguise. You don't need to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't need to respond to every insult hurled your way. You don't need to defend yourself against every misunderstanding. Why? Because most of the time, people aren't looking for truth. They're looking for reaction. And if you give it to them, you give away your power. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." But here's the deeper truth. Sometimes the most powerful reaction is none at all. Silence says, "You don't control me." Silence says, "My peace is not up for negotiation." Silence says, "I know who I am. I don't need to prove it to you." In today's hyper-connected world, people fear silence. They fear being misunderstood. But the Stoic doesn't live to be understood. The Stoic lives to stay aligned with reason, with virtue, with peace. So how can you practice the power of silence? 1. Pause before responding. Just because someone throws chaos at you doesn't mean you need to catch it. 2. Breathe, listen, observe. Don't just hear the words, hear what's behind them. Insecurity, projection, pain. 3. Speak only when necessary and only when useful. Ask yourself, will my words bring clarity or more noise? Silence is not passive. It's active restraint. It's choosing to rise above the drama instead of sinking into it. Think of it like a shield. When someone tries to provoke you and you remain calm, they lose their power over you. The noise bounces off and your stillness becomes your protection. Here's a reframe. I don't owe anyone my energy. I can disagree in silence. My peace is louder than their chaos. In the end, silence is not about avoiding confrontation. It's about refusing to let confrontation shape who you are. So the next time someone pushes your buttons, try this. Say nothing. Smile if you want. Breathe. Let them wonder, because when you choose silence, you choose strength. And in the Stoic playbook, that's the most powerful move you can make. Number 7. Turn negative emotions into gratitude. You can't be angry and grateful at the same time. Let that truth sink in. No matter how frustrated, disappointed, or overwhelmed you feel, if you shift your attention toward gratitude, even for a moment, something powerful happens. You take back control. The Stoics didn't practice gratitude because life was always good. They practiced it because life was often hard. They knew that gratitude wasn't some feel-good luxury. It was a survival skill, a tool to navigate chaos with clarity. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor facing wars, plagues, and betrayal, wrote in his journal, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." He didn't write that because his life was easy. He wrote it because he chose power over pity. He chose perspective over pain. And in our fast-paced, pressure-filled modern lives, that choice is still available every single day. Gratitude is a mental reset button, a way to say, yes, this moment is tough, but it's not everything. Yes, I'm hurt, but I'm also growing. Here's how to practice Stoic gratitude in the real world. 1. When anger rises, pause and breathe. Ask, what is one thing I can appreciate right now? 2. Keep a gratitude anchor. It could be a photo, a note, a phrase, something you return to when emotions cloud your clarity. 3. Reframe the struggle. Ask, how is this challenge sharpening me? What muscle is life trying to grow in me today? Modern problems, traffic, job stress, social media pressure, may seem trivial compared to ancient wars or exile, but emotionally they wear us down just the same. That's why the remedy hasn't changed. Gratitude is not denial, it's redirection. It doesn't pretend life is perfect, it simply chooses to focus on what's still beautiful, even when things go wrong. Imagine waking up tomorrow and appreciating what you normally overlook: your breath, your bed, your morning coffee, your ability to choose how you show up. Suddenly, the weight of negativity feels a little lighter. Gratitude doesn't erase hardship, it gives you the strength to carry it with grace. So the next time life tries to steal your peace, meet it with this quiet but powerful response: thank you for reminding me what truly matters. That's how the Stoic turns pain into perspective and hardship into hope. Number 8. Turn criticism into growth. Nobody likes being criticized. It stings. It challenges our ego. It makes us question ourselves. But here's a question most people never stop to ask. What if criticism isn't an attack, but a mirror? The Stoics saw criticism not as something to avoid, but something to study. They believed that every piece of feedback, no matter how poorly delivered, could be a tool for growth if we were humble enough to use it. Epictetus once said, "If someone criticizes you and it's true, correct yourself. If it's not true, laugh at it." Simple, brilliant, freeing. In a world obsessed with praise and validation, we become allergic to correction. But if all you ever hear is applause, how will you improve? True strength isn't about being untouched by criticism. It's about being transformed by it. Here's a modern Stoic practice to handle criticism with wisdom. 1. Pause before reacting. Don't rush to defend or dismiss. Sit with it. Ask, why did this hit me so hard? 2. Separate the message from the tone. Even if the delivery is harsh, is there a truth hiding inside? 3. Use it to sharpen your self-awareness. What blind spot might this reveal? What can I do better next time? Criticism is uncomfortable, but comfort never made anyone wiser. Imagine this. You present a project at work. Your colleague points out flaws you didn't see. Old you gets defensive. New you thanks them, takes notes, and returns better. That's power. That's Stoicism in action. It's not about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming emotionally mature. Big difference. And if the criticism turns out to be unfair or malicious, even then, you win. Because you remain calm. Because you don't let their words hijack your peace. Because you choose growth over grudges. Here's a mantra to carry with you. I am not here to impress. I am here to evolve. So the next time someone critiques you, don't flinch. Listen. Reflect. Decide what to keep and let the rest go. Because when you turn criticism into clarity, you turn discomfort into fuel. And that's how the Stoic turns feedback into freedom. Number 9. Let go to move forward. Holding on to anger is like gripping a burning coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. You're the one who gets burned. The Stoics understood something we often forget in the modern world. Letting go is not weakness, it's wisdom. Every day, people carry emotional baggage like invisible weights. A past betrayal, a bitter argument, a moment of disrespect that plays in their mind on repeat. And slowly, silently, those moments shape their present and sabotage their future. But here's what Marcus Aurelius reminds us. How much more harmful are the consequences of anger than the circumstances that arouse them? You don't just suffer when someone wrongs you. You suffer every time you replay it. You suffer every time you fuel that resentment. And worst of all, you give the past power over your peace. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean saying what happened was okay. It means releasing the emotional grip something has over you, so you can move forward without it dragging behind you. Here's how to practice Stoic release in a modern world. 1. Acknowledge the pain. Don't suppress it, name it, feel it, accept it without judgment. 2. Ask, what am I gaining by holding on to this? Often it's just stress, tension, and a false sense of control. 3. Reclaim your focus. Shift from why did this happen to me to how can I grow from this? That's where freedom lives. Imagine how much lighter your life would feel if you no longer carried every offense like a badge of honor. In a society that glorifies revenge and grudges, forgiveness is rebellion, not just toward others but for yourself. Letting go is a gift, not to them, but to you. Because when you let go, you don't erase the past. You just stop letting it write your present. Here's a Stoic mantra for release. I choose peace over poison. I let go not for them, but for me. So the next time anger creeps in, pause and ask, is this weight worth carrying one more day? And if the answer is no, then breathe deeply and let it go. That's how the Stoic moves forward, not by dragging the past, but by walking lighter into the future. Number 10, live by inner values, not outer chaos. We live in a reactive world, a world where headlines demand outrage, social media rewards extremes, and the loudest voice often gets the most attention. But the Stoics offer us a different path, a quieter path, a stronger path. Don't let the noise of the world drown out the voice of your character. That's Stoicism in action, choosing to live by your inner values, even when the outside world is spiraling. In today's hyper-connected chaos, it's easy to lose yourself, easy to mirror the fear, frustration, or anger around you, easy to respond without thinking, to become what the world throws at you. But Epictetus taught us, it's not what happens to you, but how you respond that defines you. And more importantly, what you respond from. Do you respond from ego, or from principle, from emotion, or from clarity, from habit, or from purpose? Your values are your compass. Without them, the world decides who you are. With them, you decide who you remain, even in the storm. So how do you live by your inner values in a chaotic world? 1. Identify your core values. What virtues define your best self? Integrity, patience, courage. Write them down. 2. Create a daily check-in. At the end of each day, ask, did I live according to my values, or did I let the world dictate my behavior? 3. Practice micro-decisions. Every situation is a chance to choose reaction or alignment. Here's a powerful truth. You don't have to control the world to be in control. You just have to stop letting it control you. Imagine how different your day would feel if you responded to a rude comment with grace, if you handled a sudden setback with composure, if you stayed calm not because life is easy, but because you are anchored. This is the Stoic advantage in the modern world, unshakable identity in a sea of noise. Not because you're numb, but because you're disciplined. Not because you don't care, but because you care about what truly matters. So the next time the world tries to pull you into chaos, remember this: I am not here to be everything. I am here to be myself. Let others panic. I choose principle. That's how the Stoic walks through fire, without getting burned. Because when your actions align with your values, the world can shake, but you don't. Number 11. Be the calm in the storm. When the world feels like it's spinning out of control, be the one who stands still, not frozen, not numb, but grounded. In chaos, people instinctively look for certainty. They search for someone who isn't panicking, someone who holds steady when everyone else is unraveling. Be that person. The Stoics believed that the highest form of strength wasn't loud or forceful. It was quiet, composed, and unwavering. If you are disturbed by external things, it is not they that trouble you, but your own judgment of them. Marcus Aurelius. And if it is your judgment, then you have the power to change it. Here's the truth. Modern life is turbulent. From global headlines to personal stress, the emotional storm is constant. But you don't have to be swept away by it. You can become the eye of the storm, the calm center that holds it all together. Here's how to embody that calm. 1. Master your breath. In moments of stress, your breath is your anchor. Slow it down, let it steady your mind. 2. Speak less, listen more. When tensions rise, be the one who pauses. Your silence will often bring more clarity than words. 3. Lead by energy, not argument. Your calm presence can diffuse more conflict than any clever response. Imagine walking into a tense room, not with force but with such grounded peace that others naturally soften in your presence. That's not magic, that's mastery. The modern world tells you to react, to shout back, to post louder, but the Stoic knows character is revealed not when things go right, but when everything goes wrong. Being the calm in the storm is not about controlling others. It's about not letting others control you. It's choosing peace over pride, stillness over stimulation, principle over panic. And here's the secret. When you become that calm, others notice. You become the person people turn to when they don't know what to do. Not because you have all the answers, but because you've learned how to stay composed when it matters most. So the next time life throws thunder and lightning your way, don't try to stop the storm. Become the quiet within it. Let your calm be contagious. Let your presence bring peace. Because in a world full of chaos, being calm isn't just rare, it's revolutionary. Number 12. Emotional mastery is a daily practice. Emotional strength isn't something you earn once. It's not a medal you wear. It's not a switch you flip. It's a practice, a daily one. The Stoics didn't wake up immune to anger, fear, or pain. They weren't superhuman, they were just radically committed to one thing, showing up every day and choosing self-mastery over self-indulgence. First, say to yourself what you would be and then do what you have to do. Epictetus. That's it. Simple, not easy, but life-changing. In our modern world of distractions and emotional triggers, you will be tested constantly. People will push your buttons, news will provoke you, setbacks will tempt you to spiral. But mastery doesn't mean never feeling. It means not letting feelings make decisions for you. It means learning to pause, to question, to breathe, to remember who you are and who you want to be before reacting. Here's how to cultivate emotional mastery in a world that thrives on reactivity. 1. Create daily mental space. Even 5 minutes of silence each morning can center you before the noise begins. 2. Reflect without judgment. At the end of each day, ask, where did I stay strong? Where did I let my emotions lead me? 3. Treat setbacks as training. Every challenge is a chance to practice composure. To reinforce the calm you're building, think of your mind like a muscle. Would you expect to lift heavy weights without training? Of course not. So why expect emotional stability without daily reps? Emotional mastery is not perfection, being calm all the time. It's coming back to center faster each time you drift. It's catching the anger before it controls your tone. It's noticing the anxiety before it hijacks your focus. It's choosing to act from principle, even when you feel like doing the opposite. And slowly, one day at a time, you become the kind of person others look to, not for answers, but for presence. That's the Stoic way. Not a destination, but a path, a practice, a promise, a process. So if you stumble, good. That's part of it. Get back up, recommit, begin again. Because real power isn't about being unshaken. It's about learning how to return to stillness, no matter how many times the world tries to shake you. You've just walked through 12 powerful Stoic principles, 12 anchors in a world that constantly tries to pull you off course. These ideas aren't ancient relics. They're timeless tools. They're not about suppressing your emotions, they're about understanding them, mastering them, and rising above them. In a world that rewards outrage, division, and noise, choosing calm, clarity, and purpose is a revolutionary act, and it starts within you. The truth is, emotional mastery is not a superpower. It's a decision you make every day. To pause instead of explode. To listen instead of judge. To lead with values instead of being led by chaos. You will still face challenges. You will still feel the pull of your ego. But the difference now is awareness. And with that awareness, you have the power to create space. To respond instead of react. To build a life that is unshakable. Not because the world stopped being messy, but because you stopped letting it define your peace. So keep practicing, keep showing up, and most importantly, stay committed to becoming the person your past self needed and your future self will thank you for. If this message resonated with you, if it gave you something to think about, something to feel, or something to grow from, then I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Because every week we explore ancient wisdom for modern challenges, not just to think better, but to live better, to move from reaction to reflection, from noise to stillness, from being controlled to taking control. Thank you for joining this journey toward emotional freedom. Your growth matters, your peace matters, and the world needs more people like you, calm, clear, and deeply grounded. So take this wisdom, apply it daily, and remember, you don't need to control the world. You only need to stop letting it control you. Until next time, stay stoic, stay strong, stay free.